Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then welcome to a video that you guys probably aren't expecting me to make. So let's have some quick background here. I did the Disney International Cultural Exchange Program for 2 summers, summer 2017 and 2018, and this is a form of Disney College program, which is basically programs that Disney set up to allow students at university to go and work at the Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. I've made a lot of videos around that program. It's the reason I have any subscribers pretty much, but I've always been super positive about it and saying how much I love it and had an amazing time. This video doesn't take away from the experience that I had. I've been out of the kind of DCP loop for a year now. So my program ended the end of last August, and obviously I'm not there this summer. I'm living my adult life now. My sister is actually out there doing a program at the moment and just observing like the fall cycle, the spring cycle, and now that she's out there as well, I've just been able to like take a step back and appreciate some things more that you don't really think about when you're there at Disney, because you see everything through like Disney tinted glasses, I guess you could say. So my purpose of this is not just like a pure spilling the tea video. I more want to start like a narrative around these issues that I think are quite problematic around the DCP. So I really would be interested to know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you've seen these, if you're about to do your program and you're worried about them, or if you've done it and you saw them happening, because I loved my program and I don't want it to become something it's not. There are quite a few problems, but I'm going to try and focus on like 3 right now. I actually put on my Instagram yesterday if anyone had any thoughts around if the DCP was problematic, just because I was kind of nervous to make this video as my reputation, I guess, is built on promoting it. And a lot of you came back with similar thoughts to me and some things I hadn't even thought of. So I'm going to be kind of referring to those throughout the video as well, but it's just going to kind of be me here talking about what I think. Let's just get into the first issue that I think really needs to be talked about. I have notes. So the first thing I think has become a real issue in the past couple of years, it's just spiraled completely, is the issue of social media. So when I did my program a couple of years ago, my first one, 2017, back then like my Instagram was pretty good. I'll insert like a little screenshot here, but it was just kind of nicely edited photos, nothing that special. There was no real theme to it, but people were like, oh wow, your Instagrams are so nice. Now my Instagram back then would be nothing. So many people I see now have these perfect feeds. They've got like a cohesive color scheme, and like, don't get me wrong, it's very nice and creative to look at, but my problem is I think it's perpetuating the wrong image around the DCP and what it is. I also think people are doing it for Instagram and for clout and just for the like social media fame side of it rather than the actual job, which makes me so sad, because honestly it's the best thing I've ever done and I loved working there and being around the guests and making magic. And I feel like people are going out there now just to get the purple wall shot, the name tag shot, the cast member door shot. Like, they've almost got like a tick list in their head of the photos that they want, and they're not really thinking about the job at all, and it's become all about social media. Obviously with the rise of DCP, Instagram has been the rise as well of DCP vlogging. There are like a few major ones that obviously everyone knows, like Emily Enchanted and Chase Russell and Sarah Beth and Michelle Bay, and so many people now see that that's happened for them and been successful for them, and they suddenly think, oh, this is something I want to do. I'm going to be famous and I'm going to do DCP and it's all going to be amazing and I'm getting to work with free brands and it's going to be so fun, blah 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 blah. Yes, the DCP can bring you an opportunity like that, but for the most part that's not going to happen. For every one Emily Enchanted, there's probably 200-300 people who are just going to get a couple hundred subscribers and nothing more, and no opportunities are going to come of it. You know, vlog your program if you want to. Obviously I did, but the problem again is going to arise when people don't get the thing out of the program that they wanted. If they go into it with the goal of fame, they're going to be disappointed, and it's just sad to focus on something as superficial as that when there are so many incredible parts of the program that they're going to be missing out on. Also, just this whole Instagram thing, like, I get it because I wanted to look nice when I went to the parks. You know, I'd have like a cute Disney t-shirt tucked into my shorts. I'd have quite a lot of pairs of ears, probably too many. But now they're going to the parks looking like better than I did at my graduation. They all have such put together ensembles the whole time, and I'm like, you're at a theme park at the end of the day. Like, why are you wearing this maxi skirt when your hair's all done? And like, and I know those curls are gonna fall out within like 2 minutes of being in the Florida humidity, by the way. Like, so much time must have been taken to put together that whole outfit, which again is taking away from like the fun side of it. And it's hard for me to talk about this because obviously I do care about Instagram and vlogging and stuff, but I just think that people's priorities are wrong going into the program now. And if you go into it with that mindset, then you're going to be disappointed. And also the other thing is that this is the controversial one. The people that generally seem to do well on DCP Instagram and DCP vlogging very often are white girls who are very pretty, and that's gonna kind of create a gatekeeping culture against people applying who don't look like that. And that's where another one of the major issues I have with this is, because they become almost the face of the DCP, and then it becomes even more just the same exact type of people applying, and then they're all going to create these little cliques and then take photos together looking perfect and so beautiful and pretty, and then no one's going to want to apply who doesn't look like that, because it becomes like a popular girl looking thing. And it's about making magic. It shouldn't be about this. I see so many people as well, like literally, obviously you can't vlog when you're at work, like, you know, you just can't, but people, all they do is post photos of them at the parks and vlogs at the parks, and you don't ever hear anything about what they're actually doing, because the reality is you're working way more hours than you're playing in the parks. But we don't hear about that, so then people get like a twisted idea of what the DCP is. They think it's just all fun. They come down here, they actually have to work, and then they're disappointed and they get all entitled and they just don't want to do it. And again, that's just the wrong people for the program. So yeah, I could make a whole video around the problems of like DCP Instagram and vlogging and stuff, but I do have more points to make, so I'll try and keep this a little bit short, because I could rant for so long and I'm not a negative person, but I just feel like narratives need to be started around these problems. Something that leads directly on from that is people staying in Orlando for the wrong reasons after the program. I've seen quite a lot of people, I think, who I have a suspicion are doing another program or wanting to do another program just because of that side of it, the Instagram, the vlogging. And that's not sustainable, firstly, because Disney is a very niche community. You're never gonna get tens of thousands of subscribers just living and working here, because it's not like makeup and beauty. It's not this huge audience. You are gonna tap a ceiling eventually. But obviously this feeds into what I was saying, the wider idea of staying in Orlando and getting trapped. I did see quite a lot of people on both my programs who were midway through college and had decided they were gonna stay. They were just gonna drop out. And not all of them had legit reasons for it. Some of them had come down and they were like, yeah, I always wanted to stay, like that was my goal. But so many people will get trapped and then they just think, oh, I'm loving it here, everything is perfect, I'm just gonna stay and everything is wonderful, and then their life kind of gets off track a little bit because you get sucked into a Disney bubble. So this is my major issue number 2, the Disney bubble. This is basically the idea that you live in this space in Disney World, you work in Disney World, all your friends live and work at Disney World, it's all you think about. News to you is not something that happened in politics, it's what's the newest cupcake at the Contemporary Cafe, or what character is now meeting, or what changes are going to be made to the Halloween parade. Your priorities become completely out of whack and all you can think about is Disney, and everyone else around you is just thinking about Disney. And yes, that's wonderful and happy for a temporary period of time, but to get sucked into that isn't that healthy and is problematic. I know when I was there, I completely neglected talking to any of my home friends. I would call my family once every couple of weeks, perhaps. I'd text them, but all your priorities shift because you're in this wonderful place and everything is amazing and magical. And so here's the thing, here's something that I've learned over the year of being out of Disney, because I made a video when I was leaving and I said, I'm never as happy as I am when I'm in a Disney park. It's easy to be happy when you're at a Disney park, because it's not real. People would say, oh, you're such a happy person, like who'd met me at the Disney parks. And yeah, I was, but I think it's much harder to be happy when you're living in a real situation with real issues, having to deal with genuine adult things and still having a smile on your face and being positive about it. So that's another thing about the DCP, that people get sucked in because they've never known happiness like it, because it's so uncomplicated and it's just pure and childlike, and it's such a happy, joyful place to be. But we can't stay there forever, and you want to stay so desperately that you will detour off the path you've maybe had going into it. This would be a summer internship, or it would be just a semester of college, and suddenly you're moving down to Orlando, you're living here, and the people who you thought were making it have gone home. I'm not saying that no one who stays in Disney after the program is doing it for the right reasons. I think so many people, they came, they were going to have a career with Disney from the start, and they forged a wonderful career with the company. And I think that's incredible, and I love it for them, and it makes me so happy to see people thriving and being where they're supposed to be. My problem is people staying who had other plans and other goals and ambitions in their life that they wanted to rise to, and now they're kind of getting stuck instead. Like if you did a business degree or something and suddenly you find yourself doing another program that's not really going to benefit you, you know, doing quick service. Or say you were into filmmaking and you decide that you're just going to stay in a costuming role. I don't know exactly, but people staying for the wrong reasons. Also, by the way, I live in London, so if this video is filled with sirens and background noise and airplanes, that's why. Welcome to the real world. So yeah, that's another problem with the program. You completely lose touch with reality, you get sucked in and everything is wonderful, but it's not really healthy to live that way. Like when I was there, I lived in Disney housing, I got on a bus that took me to a Disney park, I worked at a Disney park, I would then play in the Disney park after or before work, and then I would get the bus back to Disney housing and repeat it over again the next day. Like I didn't really see any of Orlando. Maybe that was my fault, but that was what everyone around me was doing. We literally were living and working at Disney World, and it was incredible for a few months. But when I drove down to Miami after my program ended and I saw some guys getting arrested for drugs on the beach, I was like, whew, Disney bubbles popped, here I am. So yeah, it's very easy to lose track of what matters and what's important, and the people that matter as well in your life, because all you see is a mouse and magic. So the third and final major point I have is the idea of getting paid in pixie dust. So basically, a lot of people, when I put on Instagram about doing a video about the DCP being problematic, brought up the idea of money out for Disney, money in for Disney. You get all these discounts like merchandise and restaurant dining and stuff, and your paycheck basically goes straight back into the company, money that already is, you know, quite a low wage to begin with. And yeah, CPs are basically cheap labor. You're hired to do the worst jobs, the worst hours. You're the bottom of the picket line, and you should be, because, you know, the last people in should get the worst jobs. But I don't think that's like necessarily advertised, and a lot of people don't know that going in, and they think they're entitled to more than they are, and then it causes friction with like part-timers and full-timers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a big problem. Also, there's a whole discrepancy around hours and what you get. So some people get completely overworked and they're getting like 50-60 hours a week, and other people are getting 30 hours a week, and there's just no kind of like exact guideline or limit or max. Like you get between 30 and 60 hours, but where you're placed completely can impact what you actually get, and people can end up having way more or way less than they want. There's no guaranteed number, and that's just not the DCP. That extends to like everyone who works at Disney in an hourly role. There's no way to know what you're gonna get the next week before it comes. I mean, technically that should be fine for a summer or a semester, but long term, I don't know how you can make that work and paying bills when you don't know how many hours you're gonna have and how much money's coming in. But yeah, so many people talked around cheap labor, dirty work, bad work hours. Obviously you get, you know, the shifts that finish at 1-2 a.m. because no one else wants to do them. But the other part about money that plays into this really majorly is there's a barrier around doing the DCP dependent on your wealth and your income. That it has to be said, and I don't ever see this discussed. So I know, at least from the UK, when you apply, you obviously have to travel for your interview, which there's 2 interviews, and depending where you are, that could easily add up very quickly. There's then an initial program fee of around £300, which I think is about maybe $360, I'm not exactly sure. And that covers just a general fee for stuff, I don't know, plus your first couple weeks rent perhaps, maybe just 1 week. You then have, I know at least for my program, insurance, and that costs around £285, a criminal background check of £75, a visa which cost £130, a CVIS fee along with your visa for £30, the first night accommodation in Orlando because you had to get there the night before to check in the following morning, which for me cost £50, plus your flight, which easily costs around £400 upwards to £600 depending on when you book it and who you fly with. So adding all of that up, you're looking at £1,500 or around $1,900 before you even move into housing. There's then the issue of buying bedding to get out your apartment and kitchen stuff and just generally things to make it look homely. Like some of the people seem to have the most elaborate dorm decor I've ever seen, and they literally live there for 3 or 4 months. You have to be able to feed yourself for the first week or two because your first proper paycheck doesn't come for another couple weeks. So really you need like over $2,000 as a UK citizen at least before you start earning a single dollar. How is that fair? And if you're not in a position where you can afford that, or have savings, or parents who will help you out, or a job while you're studying at university, which a lot of people's degrees are too demanding to have, you're not going to be able to do it. And it is a real gatekeeping issue that people from underprivileged backgrounds and low-income families just can't afford to do it. So it's presented online as just this big magical thing, and they have people from all walks of life coming together to work for Disney and to make magic. But really there's a huge issue in getting into the program in the first place and being able to afford to go. Then once you're there, say you're getting 30 hours a week, you can't even afford to make back all that you spent to go out there. You might not even break even. How is that fair? It's supposed to be a job. There are so many more points I could go into, such as when people work in certain locations, they get entitled and think they're better than other people because they have like the most magical location, and I've seen this firsthand, I'm not just making this up. Obviously cliques form in the program as well, with people thinking they're cooler than other people just because, again, back to like Instagram followers, or they're a vlogger or something like that. You might also get a very problematic location, which is just not fun. I have a whole video about that, which I will link up here. On like a happier note as well, because this video has been way too negative for me, it's problematic because once you leave you want to go back and you miss your friends so much, and it's so sad, and you get the post-Disney blues like crazy. But I think that's all I'm going to talk about for now, because this video is probably way too long, and I don't like putting my energy into negative things. But I wanted to start a discussion and a narrative around these issues because it's not okay. If you enjoyed this video or agree with what I said in any way, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos. I am actually going back to Disney World for the first time as a guest in quite a few years, in just 4 weeks time, so vlogs are coming very soon from that, and if you would like to see them, you know what to do down there, the red button. But yes, please comment down below other issues that you have that you think need to be discussed more. If you agree with what I said and you want to kind of talk to me about it more, feel free to message me on Instagram at Emily's Wonderland, because my DMs are always open. But that is all I have for now. I hope that this wasn't too negative and people aren't gonna think I'm just trashing the DCP, because like I said, I loved my programs and I will always say it's the best thing I've ever done, but that doesn't mean it's without fault. At the end of the day, we are going behind the magic, and there is an uglier side to everything. It's kind of like the opposite of revealing Maleficent's good side. It's like revealing Sleeping Beauty's bad side. Side note, Maleficent 2, who's hyped? Give it a thumbs up just for that, because Angelina Jolie's cheekbones, they deserved a second movie, and I don't want to hear anyone who disagrees. That's all from me for now. I will see you in another video, and have a magical rest of your day. Bye!